Yes, we are still tracking that dashboard behind me. We're at 50% of the count so far, and the MK is still leading with just over 650,000 votes. It's followed by the ANC with about 269,000 votes, followed by the IFP trailing very closely to the ANC at 259,000, and that is followed by the DA and the EFF. But interestingly, number 6 on this list with these preliminary results is the National Freedom Party. Now, you would remember that this party in the past, when it was formed in 2011, the February of 2011, by its late founder, Nobuhle Modise, it was the queen of kingmakers in the province, and we saw it assist the ANC in toppling the IFP in a number of municipalities. But it's since been, marred by factional battles, and I actually have with me the provincial chairperson for the NFP, Mbali Shinga, and let's just unpack how they feel about the results that we are seeing here. You are currently sitting at around 9,000, over 9,000 votes. I mean, how do you feel about the results so far?
Greetings to you and the viewers at home. As the National Freedom Party in KwaZulu-Natal, as we're monitoring that dashboard, I could say to you we were a bit disappointed with the start yesterday, but looking at where we are today and the percentage of counting where we are, we remain hopeful and very grateful, and send our thanks to appreciation to our members as well as our volunteers and voters who came out yesterday and entrusted the National Freedom Party with their vote.
Would you say the results that you're seeing behind me are as a result of, the challenges that you've had as a party? I mean, there was that very challenging provincial elective conference that we saw last year where you were, elected as the current chairperson of the province. But we saw a lot of people walk out. The deputy mayor of eThekwini right now, Zandile Mieni, was one of those people who walked out. Would you say that some of these battles are the reason you're seeing the numbers looking this way?
You know what, if you look at the history of the National Freedom Party, even before you get to that, the challenges we've had before in 2016 when the party was not registered to contest in the local government elections, and then after the passing of the late Visit Kamagwaza Msibi, may his soul rest in peace. So those are some of the challenges dating back. But indeed, coming to these elections, you would know that parties started canvassing for votes during the voter registration weekends. You could see it was already the campaign. But the NFP, unfortunately, was not there and was not part of that because we had waited for the IEC to resolve our problems and all that. So the fact is we were given a go-ahead at the 11th hour when other political parties were already on the ground. So yes, those internal squabbles of the NFP did affect the performance that we see now.
Court cases as well. Take us through that.
At the meantime, yes, court cases before have had that problem. We have one going now because of the national conference at the Olive Convention Center in December. There are those who walked out and then challenged the processes. So there is that matter still to be resolved. But we remained hopeful because even if they challenge the outcome of the conference, we want to believe that they remain the members of the party. So that's the one other challenge, but that's the one issue outstanding, and we hope it will be resolved soon.
I mean, we were chatting off camera earlier, and you were telling us about your disappointment in some of the wards that have been taken by the MK, especially. I mean, where do you think this comes from?
It's actually difficult to say because sitting there with different political parties, it affects all political parties, especially even those that were bigger than us in terms of numbers before. But indeed, we saw that, when the counting happens, you rely in saying there are areas where who are our strongholds. But these days, no political party can say that because in areas where we govern, we saw our numbers numbers, deteriorating because of the resurfacing of MK. So that really affects us as well as the National Freedom Party. But interestingly, I was chatting to one of our volunteers who was saying at the VD where they were no representation.
Unfortunately, I'm so sorry. I have to stop you there. That is Mbali Shinga, who is the provincial chairperson of the National Freedom Party. Back to you, Iman.